Today we're diving into the world of pawpaws, and not just any pawpaws. We're grafting 7 rare and delicious varieties onto seedling rootstock. Dean Family Acres. Did you know there's a fruit native to the United States that tastes like tropical custard, and that many people aren't aware or don't know what it is? Today we're diving into the world of pawpaws, and not just any pawpaws. We're going to be grafting 7 different unique and delicious varieties onto our seedling rootstock. These varieties include some heavy hitters like Susquehanna and Wabash. Stick around and I'll show you step by step how we graft and why these varieties are game changers, and how you can grow this forgotten fruit in your backyard. At Dean Family Acres, we've always loved growing things that connect us to nature and each other. Pawpaws are part of that journey. Native to the Eastern U.S., they're often called the banana of the woods. But these aren't just any wild pawpaws. Today, we're grafting on premium varieties to take our orchard to the next level. These seedlings actually came from a fellow pawpaw enthusiast, and this is another example of how generous the grafting community is and how we truly can grow this awesome native fruit here in our region. So let's get our pruning shears, our grafting knife, and our parafilm together, as we traditionally like to use a cleft graft. It's just one that we found that works very, very well in a lot of different types of fruit. So that's what we are going to use. A lot of other folks like to use a variety of different methods grafting pawpaws. Anything from whip and tongue to a modified cleft. And then there are some pretty unique varieties where they almost cut things in half, splice them together, use bark from both sides, and wrap it all up. For us, the easiest thing is a cleft graft, and that's what we're going to be using today. Since we're talking about grafting, there are a couple other things that you want to keep in mind, and that is also labeling. You might wonder, why in the world do you have a paint pen and embossing labels here? And honestly, that's because these have been our go-tos for making sure that we get things labeled. I don't know about you guys, but a lot of times trying to stay organized is something that doesn't come naturally to us. So we certainly have to go over and above to make sure that we do that immediately. It's very easy, especially when you're grafting 7 different varieties at one time, to maybe get some things mixed up so you don't necessarily know exactly which variety you have. We've run into that with our blueberries and a variety of other things. So the paint marker works absolutely excellent as you write on your pots. So these are some pawpaw seeds that we did earlier this year, and you can write on those pots, and it will last, I would say, about 2 to 3 years on the pots, as long as they're not turned directly toward just where your sun's going to be baking on them all day long. Then they might only last about a year. These embossa tags actually work absolutely excellent. The only thing is they have a little tiny wire that connects to your tree or branch, and a lot of times those will completely go away. So I would encourage you, you might want to upgrade to some different kind of wire to be able to mark that. Do not trust a Sharpie or something like that on a tag. It will fade in less than a year. So grafting might look intimidating, but with a sharp knife and a little practice, it's really all about matching the cambium layers and keeping it snug. When we wrap it tight, seal it, and wait. There's some other tips that you definitely need to know. You need to make sure and get your scion wood in late winter or super early spring. I will say you can traditionally collect pawpaw scions a little bit later, as well as persimmon scions a little bit later than you traditionally do with other fruits. You want to store that scion in the refrigerator, and then you want to graft when tips are warm but not scorching. For pawpaws specifically, you want to make sure that those temperatures are going to be probably in the 75 to 80 degree range for several days. And you also want to make sure and be aware about rain. You don't want a ton of rain beating down on your brand new grafts. So you want to evaluate that. That's one reason we've kind of been putting off, but then we've also had a couple cooler days, which is certainly fine. So we're gonna dive right in and get these grafted up. All right guys, we're gonna talk a little bit about our different varieties that we're gonna be grafting. So this first one is Jerry's Big Girl. Jerry's Big Girl. Big fruit, bold flavor, and super satisfying. This one's prized for large size and dessert quality flesh. It's creamy, sweet, and extremely satisfying. Maria's Joy. This is a personal favorite for a lot of people because of its tropical notes. This hybrid combines the best northern hardiness with southern flavor. Mango undertones with pawpaw roots. Overleese, a classic variety that's known for its excellent flavor, medium to large size, and excellent seed to pulp ratio. It's been a favorite for decades and often performs very well in backyard home orchards. All right guys, hopefully this makes sense. You can see there's been a couple of these that kind of have some, there we go, have some damage here. And if I can get to it, I've been just snipping it right below that damage. You can see we got growth here, so we're good. Ooh, got a bug, Getting him off. But you can see we've got growth here, so I'm just going to cut it right here below it, and we're going to put this Shenandoah scion about right there. You can see I always check, put it right behind it. You can kind of see exactly how the thickness works. A little bit easier just done than said, I guess, here, or being able to see it, but kind of put that behind it and look at it multiple different directions and making sure that your scion is the same as your rootstock here. That's your best bet for cleft graft. You can do it where one's larger than other, but honestly your best success is going to be there. And also you want to make sure and look at where your buds are and make sure you're grafting the right direction. Those leaf buds are going to be at the top, as you can see there. And also just be aware there are some flowering buds. You don't really want those if you can help it. I've only had, I think, one of those in this scion so far. Shenandoah, a classic from Peterson's Pawpaws. Early ripening and banana vanilla type flavor. It has very few seeds and it's perfect for those wanting to extend their harvest time. Susquehanna. This is another Peterson variety that is an absolute beast. If you're only going to plant one variety, it would be Susquehanna. It has giant fruit, low seed count, and super sweetness. Susquehanna would be an excellent choice for anyone looking for a great pawpaw variety. Tallahatchie is firm and fragrant and a little more resilient. This one actually has a little bit different texture and holds up really well if you're not going to eat it immediately, so it might store a little better. Wabash. This one's formerly known as S64, and it brings tropical flavor, smooth texture, and bold aroma. It's great for eating fresh or for freezing for later. Try Wabash. 7 varieties that we have here of different pawpaws. We're excited to be able to get these grafted today and looking forward to seeing you guys' response, especially about the different varieties that we actually chose to graft. Some of this was a little bit of flexibility because of the timing that we ordered, but I would love to hear exactly what your experience has been with each of these varieties. And also, don't forget to include exactly where you're located and how old the tree is. Thanks so much, guys. All right, guys, now that we've got these grafts completed, we're going to keep them in some dappled shade for a couple weeks just to make sure we have the most success as possible in regards to having some good takes. I will be updating y'all probably through some shorts in regards to through our channel, so I would encourage y'all to make sure and subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed, you can do that down below. Only about 20% of our viewers, unfortunately, subscribe. So they kind of come for one video, learn a little bit, and don't necessarily always loop back in regards to a subscription. So I'd encourage you to do that. Whenever you subscribe, if you want to see each and every one of our videos, I would encourage you to, there's a little bell down there. Ring that bell. Every single video, we kind of make a comment that you need to ring that bell like. That's right. Mike Tyson did in the 1980s. So once you do that, you can also give us that thumbs up and share it with some friends. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and we will see you again soon. Thanks, guys. What varieties of pawpaws are you growing? Please comment down below and let us know so we can get some conversations going in regards to different varieties and why you like the variety that you planted. If you'll also be willing to share what zone you're in, general area of the country would be awesome as well, and we can that way kind of compare what works well for you, what you've had trouble with, etc. Really do appreciate you guys watching this week. Here are the results of our grafting pawpaws. First time we've tried to do this, and we want to talk a little bit about it. Hopefully you'll join us today, and we will give you some updates.